Good day, Doctor. I would like to explain about the definition and purpose of minimum wages implementation and issues regarding it. The minimum wage is the least amount that an employee is entitled to be paid for work completed or service rendered within a specific time frame. The minimum wage is the basic pay, which does not include overtime, current benefits, or other allowances. The purpose of minimum wages implementation is to protect low-wage workers to be able to afford better living and higher education. In addition, implementation of minimum wage could also reduce poverty and inequality by increasing the wages of low-income workers and promote productivity growth. On the other hand, Malaysia had previously encountered issues of rising inflation and a lack of significant wage increases have reduced the people's purchasing power. Several workers arguing that 1,500 ringgit Malaysia minimum wage rise that took effect recently is still inadequate for most people to live on. In addition, decrease in full-timers and an increase in part-timers due to part-time workers are usually not covered by the minimum wage policy or receive the same privileges as full-time employees.
Now I will explain the challenges the government faces in implementing minimum wages. The first challenge is related to employment levels. When the government announced the minimum wage, the most affected sector were SMEs and the Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers. For SMEs which operate with narrow profit margins, the higher wage increased their cost significantly. To cope, they decided to reduce their labor force and limit new hires. Meanwhile, FMM faced tough decisions regarding automation and relocating operations. They chose to cut long-term labor expenses and started shifting production to countries with cheaper labor. As a result, both sectors' action leads to job losses, substantial layoff and fewer employment opportunities in Malaysia, which obviously causes the rate of unemployment to increase. Next, the government faces inflationary pressure. This arises because business owners tend to raise the prices of goods and services to maintain their profit margins. For example, restaurant owners and food vendors increase their menu prices to balance their expenses and revenue. This action directly contributes to inflationary. As a result, the cost of living in Malaysia will increase. This clearly demonstrates that the government's intention to improve the economic condition of low-income workers will not succeed in improving their financial conditions.
Hi, I will be continuing the presentation. The next challenge is the enforcement and compliance issue. The Malaysian government only has limited resources and this causes insufficient funding. The related agencies have to suffer from budget restraint and they are unable to hire more skillful employees or invest in the needful technologies. The lack of staff leads to more problems as they can't handle daily operations like the inspection of documents. This leads to improper monitoring of compliance and they are unable to detect the violation of law on time. Also, the training and capacity building are affected as the government are not willing to spend on staff training. Part-time workers are accepted, but the enforcement of the law is not secured as the staff have inefficiency of knowledge. Furthermore, the Malaysian government is also facing difficulties about the penalties and deterrent. The enforcement of the penalties and deterrent is often questioned. The penalties for violation is too low and this causes that the employers are willing to break the law if the financial risk is higher than the potential fees. Moreover, the enforcement of the penalties is a challenge too. Even when the enforcement of the penalties is in progress, there are many possibilities that the law offenders might escape from punishment. The progress is slow and they can exploit many loopholes and delay tactics. Lastly, there is a possibility of repeated offenders as there are no strategic penalties and strong follow-up methods. So this causes them to repeat the violation and using the same method to escape. That's all from me. I'll pass it to the next presenter. Thank you.
Next, I will present about the effort that government can do to implement the minimum wage. The first effort is based on legislative effort. There are three ways that government can do. The first is Malaysia government needs to establish national minimum wage laws to ensure all workers receive a baseline income level. This move aims to address economic and social issues, support economic stability, and ensure equal distribution of economic growth benefits. Minimum wage law can lift workers out of poverty, improve their quality of life, and reduce reliance on social welfare programs. Adhering to international labour standards also enhance Malaysia's reputation and competitiveness in the global market. Second is government should conduct periodic review and adjustment to the minimum wage to maintain its value, meet workers' basic living standards, and respond to economic conditions. Inflation can erode the purchasing power of money, and regular adjustment to ensure the minimum wage remains sustainable for the economy, allowing businesses to absorb to higher labour costs. Third is government can adjust minimum wage level based on regional variation to account for local living costs such as housing, transportation, and food price. This allows for more appropriate wage for workers in high-cost areas and allow the government to be more responsive to changing economic conditions and ensure effective wage policy over time. Second effort is based on economic policy. There are two ways government can do. The first is government may offer tax incentive to small business to offset labor costs associated with higher minimum wage, preventing layoff and job loss. This incentive also free up capital, enable small business to expand and create jobs, supporting local economic growth and innovation, and also maintain a competitive market environment. Second is government can diversify the economy by investing in high-wage industry like technology, finance, and advanced manufacturing. This diversifies the economy, reduce dependence on low-wage sector, and create a resilient structure. Investment in this sector also support education and training programs, enhance workforce skills, and reduce income volatility. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
I am going to continue present on National Wages Consultative Council established by the National Wages Consultative Council Act 2011. It plays a crucial role in setting and reviewing minimum wages rate, taking into account various factors such as inflation, productivity level, and economic growth projection. It also prioritizes transparency and inclusivity by involving stakeholders like government, employer, and employees in dialogue and negotiation. NWCC conduct regular reviews to ensure the adequacy and relevance of minimum wages rate. Then, NWCC recommendations that are approved by the government leads to new legislation or regulation amendments. Overall, the NWCC shaped Malaysia's labour landscape through equitable and sustainable minimum wages policy, promoting fair wages, economic growth, and worker welfare. Next, the government has embarked on extensive public awareness campaign. Public awareness campaigns are crucial for educating both employer and employees about minimum wages law and promoting fair compensation while reducing income inequality. These campaigns reach a diverse audience, delivering tailored messages through various channels such as media and public events. This campaign also includes educational initiatives and partnership with government agencies and other organizations to improve understanding and encourage compliance. Furthermore, public awareness efforts engage local communities, ensuring that messages are easily understood and build trust among the government authorities. Overall, these campaigns promote respect for workers' rights and contribute to a fairer society in implementing a minimum wages.
As conclusion, although there are many challenges of implementing a minimum wage policy in Malaysia, the government's comprehensive strategy and multifaceted approach offer a path towards achieving the aim to ensure that workers can meet their basic needs and reduce income inequality. By balancing the economic impact with robust enforcement mechanisms, Malaysia can ensure that minimum wage policy can meet its intended benefits, contributing to a fairer and more prosperous society.